coins and gold jewelry. Save all month long at the Potting Shed Antiques, or visit us online anytime at thepottingshedantiques.com.
Don't catch the wintertime blues. Swing into golf savings at 15 of the area's top courses for $75 with the Town Square 2023 Seize the Deal golf card. Yes, that's right. $75 gets you 15 rounds of golf. Some courses include Valley View, Twin Ponds, Crestwood, Pine Hills, Sequoia Knolls, and more. There are a limited number of cards available, so don't delay. Get your $75 Town Square Seize the Deal golf card at seizethedeal.com.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen?
Keeler's always in the know.
It makes me want to call him
And tell him where to go.
And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I think this is a good way to get started here. Mike this morning with a comment to begin the morning. Regarding the storm, I rooted for Richard in my heart, but your professional meteorologist in my head. Talking about Craig Flint, who has called for another 4 to 8 inches today. Although we did not get much snow overnight. It did not snow much overnight, but it certainly is snowing right now. I'll give you his complete forecast here. Today, steady, wet snow accumulating another 4 to 8 inches, depending on what you might have already gotten. And then in the higher elevations, you can expect more, upwards of 10 to 12 inches through the day today, turning breezy and colder with the high right about where we are right now, 33 degrees. Tonight, windy evening as snow tapers to flurries, low 25, and tomorrow, lingering leftover lighter snow showers and flurries, tapering early. Still windy and chilly with increasing afternoon sunshine and a high of 34. And if you don't mind, I'll just look to Friday. High is about 48 degrees, almost to 50 degrees on Friday. So whatever we get out of this whole thing, expect it to turn around and melt fairly quickly. Manansky is, of all mornings, Manansky is out sick today, and he's not feeling well at all. We have a bunch to get to. I have a huge program today, luckily, because it's me and you, Davey, in studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
We'll speak with Tanya Powers coming up in a few minutes. What's her? You booked these. What's her topic this morning?
Governor DeSantis is going to New Hampshire for a fundraiser. She's going to have more about that at 6:45.
And then you got, I believe, Jonathan Savage from Fox News. This is interesting on a on the world scene, but certainly interesting as China and
the Chinese president is
yeah
traveling to Russia to meet with Putin.
That will be an interesting meeting. So, this morning also on the program, we'll speak with the Utica mayoral candidate Bob Cardillo, who will be in this morning in response to Gentile coming on the air, the city Republican chair, saying that Bob was inappropriate when it came to dealing with the party chair, or the party clerk, I should say. Bob will respond to that this morning. I have a guy on this morning. His name is Clay Hansen, and he has done research, and he claims that global warming, they're lying to you about global warming. Now, he believes that it's not necessarily, while they're lying to you, it's not lying to you about the existence of global warming. He says there absolutely is global warming. We're going through it right now. But what he said, his difference is that global warming is actually going to be a good thing for us. He's from Maine, so who knows? I kind of feel like warmer temperatures would feel pretty good right now. We'll speak with Clay Hansen later on this morning. And then a very intense interview. We're going to speak with a couple, Fran and Joe Garino. They are former Jehovah's Witnesses who claim the following. They have been shunned as they left the church. Apparently, if you leave the church, they say, you are shunned, and current members are not allowed to speak with you. That includes your own children. And in fact, they have not had contact with their children since the fall, since they left the church. They're adult children today, but they've left the church, and no one is allowed to talk to them. They say that if you recall what happened a few weeks ago in Germany, it's typical. They talk about shunning, child sexual abuse, violence, and potentially even murder, which is what we saw in Germany. They say that shunning leads to depression, suicide, and possible violence. We'll speak with both Fran and Joe later on this morning in the 8 o'clock hour. It's pretty darn intense in my conversations with them. Definitely, they have a sad story to talk about. Let's see some of the news items out there this morning that we can talk about. There was a big accident yesterday afternoon in the village of Mohawk along Route 5S. Police and fire crews were at the scene yesterday evening. It was a two-car fatal accident on Route 5S in Mohawk. The highway was closed between East Main Street and Washington Street near the bridge. Witnesses say that the one car was on fire. State police confirmed that one of the drivers has died. We have no word on the identities of those involved in the accident, but we'll report on that as we get the information later on this morning. Again, at least one person has died in that two-car accident that occurred. What else do I have that I want to squeeze in here this morning? We mentioned this weather forecast. We'll give you the update a little later on this morning on the school closings, and that's pretty much all we have here today. Richard is saying, well, if 2 to 3 inches of snow is a huge storm, I was wrong. Richard, you're forgetting a part of there's more snow expected today. I think we're probably going to be close to 6 to 8 inches when this is all said and done. Your statement yesterday was, I'll be shocked if we get 2 inches. I will tell you the snow's coming down pretty hard right now. He says probably a few more inches by noon, as some of the storm did turn in overnight, so I guess we'll be looking at 4 to 6 inches, which means you were wrong. I'm just being honest. If you're following any of the NFL activity that's going on right now, there is some breaking news out there, Davey, that Aaron Rodgers has been traded. It's not official, but it's official. It's all but done.
To the Jets?
To the Jets. This broke overnight. The Packers are trading four-time MVP and Super Bowl winning quarterback Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, per a source. There's your blockbuster news for this morning in the NFL. This week, keep an eye on what's happening at Herkimer. They're hosting the NJCAA Division III men's basketball tournament. And I believe, based on the fact that the college is closed today, but the tournament still is on. So keep that in mind. That is still happening. So you've switched this around. Savage is on now?
Yes.
Okay. We'll get to that. I'll have your school closings coming up in just a second, so get ready for that. There's just basically everybody's closed here this morning. We mentioned earlier, Davey has booked Jonathan Savage from Fox News. China's president could be days away from a trip to meet with Vladimir Putin in Russia. What will that mean And Jonathan Savage, good morning. What does that mean?
Hello, good morning. This could mean, I think, one of two things. So Xi Jinping is going to speak to Vladimir Putin face-to-face, reports Reuters, as soon as next week. If you want to be pessimistic about it, you might say, from a U.S. perspective, that President Biden's administration's fears that China is about to supply Russia with weapons are about to be crystallized. But there is another alternative point of view, which could be that China is going to Russia to play peacemaker, to play an active role in ending the war in Ukraine. Part of the reason we might think that is because they did set out a peace proposal a few weeks ago which received a fairly lukewarm response, but the Wall Street Journal reports that Xi Jinping will then hold a video call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky after he meets Vladimir Putin.
I will say that it would be, wouldn't you say, it would be in China's best interest for the war to be resolved, because it's definitely hurting the world economy.
It is hurting the world economy, and China has profited in some ways from the war because they have increased their trade with Russia. Russia can't sell oil to Europe at the moment, so they've been selling it to China at a knockdown price. But on the other hand, Ukraine's biggest trading partner before the war was China. China imported almost 30% of its corn from Ukraine, and China has also invested in infrastructure projects in Ukraine. And this is at a time where China's economy is in a relative slump, and the war has harmed not just the economy in Russia and Ukraine, but everywhere. So China is saying, enough of this, let's get back on track.
Yeah. Very interesting. Let's see. And you're saying this is probably potentially days away from happening.
Yeah, Reuters suggests it could be sometime early next week, which is a lot sooner, actually, than was previously thought.
Okay, Jonathan Savage, thank you for the time. We appreciate it.
Anytime.
Jonathan Savage from Fox News. We'll come back and give you the school closings that we have here today. Roads are slick this morning. And I have another message from Richard, our unofficial meteorologist, who's calling on, I can just tell you that the title of his message is Error. Is he claiming that he made a mistake? Don't think that too quickly. I'll give you what he has to talk about coming up. 6:32 on Tuesday morning, middle of a bit of a snowstorm here this morning on WIBX.
Hi, I'm Max Carbone, sales manager at Power Sports of Utica. We are currently overstocked on 2023 Ski-Doo models, and we are offering up to $2,000 off sticker plus a $500 gift card for anything in the store. Kawasaki KLR models have $1,000 in rebates as well, and we have all colors and trims available in stock and ready for delivery. Kawasaki KLX models have $400 in rebate and up to $1,500 off KX models. Come visit us at Power Sports of Utica, Central New York's Four Seasons toy store.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
COVID is still spreading. Don't let your guard down. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But your risk is greater if you're over 65, if you're obese, have heart or lung disease, diabetes, or another underlying health condition. Lower your risk of serious illness, hospitalization, and death with the most up-to-date COVID vaccines, including the booster. Learn more at ny.gov/booster.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
You have cancer. 3 words you wish you could unhear. But just because a cancer diagnosis may be a shock to your system doesn't mean cancer surgery has to be. Now, there's Edge Radio Surgery. It breaks down tumors in less than an hour per treatment. No knife, no hospital stay. Faster treatments, lower risk. Edge Radio Surgery, now at AMP of New York. Learn more at ampofny.com/edge. You may experience side effects which may be severe. Ask your doctor if Edge Radio Surgery and Associated Medical Professionals of New York is right for you.
Talk about Collis heating, cooling, and insulation. You may know, as I certainly do, Collis for heating and cooling. In fact, when it became coldest this year, our furnace went down, and Collis was there. Within an hour and a half, they were at our home, got the furnace back up and running, but it was on its last leg. It made it through the weekend, but by Monday, we had to have a brand new furnace installed. They were there. They did an incredible job. And one of the other ways to keep your house toasty warm in the winter and in the summertime, make sure the cool air stays inside, is with insulation. And you might not know, but Collis has been doing insulation for several years. It ensures your heating and cooling systems aren't working harder than they need to. And they'll begin at Collis with a free home energy assessment. It's absolutely free. I had the experience of the home assessment. They'll not only come into your home and do research on your home, but they dig into the construction of the home, the improvements that were made over the years. They can narrow right down to the type of insulation in your home and give you suggestions. And if it does include insulation, it might very well mean that you could get some rebate money from New York State. There's a lot of money out there. They want your home to be energy efficient, and Collis can walk you through that entire process. They have the path. They know it well to be able to get you into a position where you could save money, and in some cases, people have had the entire project paid for. Reach out to Collis. They'll walk you through the whole process. Fred F. Collis and Sons. Heating, cooling, and insulation. Reach out today. Fred F. Collis and Sons.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I'll also tell you the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. And today, they still are celebrating Daylight Saving Time. It's Daylight Saving Time Donuts. Daylight Donuts with Daylight Saving Time. And here's what happens. Any coffee you purchase today, come in through the drive-thru or inside the store, purchase a coffee, get a free glazed donut. It's today only. They've been doing it since Sunday. Today is the final day to take advantage, so make your way through the drive-thru. You lose an hour of sleep, you gain a free glazed donut. Today at Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. I like the play. I mean, right? Because you think about it, Daylight Donuts, Daylight Saving Time. Who'd have thunk it? Well, Chuck Sedella did. I want to go over the delays and cancellations. Really, it's basically school closings that we have here for you today. And this is where we are. The following schools are closed today. Brookfield Central, Camden, Central Valley Academy. The Clinton Central School District is closed. Cooperstown, Edmiston, Frankfort Schuyler, Herkimer Bosse's, Herkimer Central School, Holland Patton is closed. Little Falls, Madison, Madison Oneida Bosse's, Mohawk Valley Christian Academy is closed as well. Morrisville Eaton Central School is closed. Mount Markham, New Hartford Central School is closed. No after-school activities. The New York Mills Central School District closed. Notre Dame is closed. Oneida City Schools, Oneida Herkimer Madison Bosse's, Oriskany Central School, O&D Young is closed. Poland Central closed. Remsen, Rome City School District closed. Sequoia Valley also closed. St. Francis de Sales in Herkimer is closed. SUNY Poly is closed as well. Remote work for staff will happen through the day today. Utica Academy of Science is closed with no remote learning today. Utica City School District, VVS, Waterville, West Canada Valley, Westmoreland Central School, and Whitesboro all are closed here today. And the roads are slick. The snow is coming down harder than it has all night long. Richard, Richard is claiming that we've had several nor'easter storms, or at least 3 or 4 nor'easters. I have no idea. I just heard on, I guess, TV the other day where they said this is our first nor'easter, and maybe it's our first nor'easter of 2023. I don't know what they were saying, but he said there have been 3 or 4 of them. One, to be honest with you, I don't think they really hit our area that hard. They may have been nor'easters, but they may have hit maybe Albany a little heavier than and maybe not even have reached us. That's all I'm saying. I don't know, to be honest with you, Richard. I'm sure you're absolutely right. Another story that is really somewhat confusing right now, because police in Utica are telling us that there may be some confusion based on an eyewitness report. This is being reported by Westchester News 12 in the Newburgh area. Police there are investigating the death of a woman believed to be from this area, from Utica, who may have been stabbed and bruised and found under a discarded box spring. They said that she was right out in the open. One witness said when you were walking, you never would have noticed her. She was covered with a box spring. You had to lift the box spring up to see her, according to an eyewitness. She said the body of the woman was lifeless and basically lying in plain sight before she was found on Sunday. The witness also said that the woman had suffered a stab wound. Now, when speaking to Sergeant Mike Curley from UPD, he said currently they're cooperating with police to identify the woman, but the media report that claims that the woman had been stabbed, he said they don't have that information. When they spoke with the people from the Newburgh Police Department, they described a different scenario, possibly a person who had traveled there for rehab and had checked out of the facility. He said he's waiting on further information, including the results of an autopsy from there. And, of course, if anyone had any information, possibly in regards to someone who is missing from the area or who had traveled to Newburgh, a female, you could always call Utica Police or Mohawk Valley Crime Stoppers. Wayne says Rogers is staying green. Yeah, but he's giving up the yellow, right? Staying green, but giving up the yellow. Word is that Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the New York Jets. That's going to be interesting, Davey, for the Bills, right?
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see, Bill, first game that whoever they play against, Rodgers gets like 3 interceptions in the media. The New York media is going to rip him apart. He's not used to having the Green Bay media. But
well,
he's in a national spotlight in New York.
You're right. He'll be in New York. Although, you never know. Is this a year where he has one of those final amazing seasons of his career? Sometimes a change of scenery can create something like that.
We remember a certain quarterback that used to play for the Packers, went and played for the Jets a few years, for Brett Favre.
Yeah. And then the Bills had a loss.
Yeah, Tremaine Edwards, one of our best defensive players, went and signed a 5-year contract with the Chicago Bears. Huge loss for the Bills. But they ended up signing Matt Milano over the weekend. But huge loss for the Bills. But they ended up freeing up $32 million in cap.
So what did they do? Was there a renegotiation of contracts for that?
Yeah, they restructured Josh Allen's and Von Miller's deal.
Yeah.
So they brought $32 million off the books. One of the tweets I seen this morning from one of the Buffalo reporters says maybe the Bills are going to go out and make a big move. And, of course, now they got to go out and look for a backup quarterback for Josh Allen because we lost Case Keenum. He signed with the Houston Texans. Unless you want to rely on Matt Barkley to be Josh Allen's backup. Yeah. A lot of reports are saying Carson Wentz, who was the Redskins and Eagles quarterback, is maybe an option for the Bills to be a quarterback behind Josh Allen.
Running back and receiver.
I want Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that would be a big move.
Yes.
Okay, an Ohio man was hospitalized after having his arm mauled by. I didn't realize that zebras can be mean, but apparently they can. A zebra that he owned, the male zebra, was acting aggressive because it was protecting a herd of female zebras. So police officers, I hate to say this, but they had to put down the zebra. The victim is still in the hospital. The audio ends before deputies fire any shots at the zebra, but that is what is coming here. Here we go.
Is there a way for you to keep him back? We're trying not to shoot him, but... Yeah. Come on. Come on.
They said as long as you don't turn your head.
Like, don't
Don't turn your head.
Keep looking at it?
Yeah. Don't turn your head.
Get back.
All right, I hate to say it, but shortly after that, they shot and killed the zebra because the thing was attacking the police officers. And the guy, the owner of the zebra, was severely injured, still in the hospital. A Colorado woman's life was, by the way, that was in Ohio. A Colorado woman's life was saved when she had a heart attack in the courthouse while serving for jury duty. She now says it was jury duty that saved her life. Thankfully, a DA who was also a doctor and deputies performed CPR on her while the ambulance came. They saved her life. She ended up having 3 heart attacks total. Here is Shirley Bennett talking about how lucky she was to be at the right place at the right time during her life-threatening emergency. Here we go.
You're looking at a woman who should be dead, but not so. She's alive and well and going on with living her life and doing the things she needs to do. I look around, I'm overwhelmed and overcome. Okay, let me get together. Overcome because I went through a crisis totally unexpected. And God sent angels with skin and invisible wings. I'll never complain about jury duty again.
God sent an angel with skin and invisible wings. And it's jury duty that she says ultimately saved her life. Davey, are you filling out a bracket for the NCAA tournament?
Yes, I am.
And you know what the odds are? Do you think your odds are better at getting because the perfect bracket is where you could make your money, millions, right? Do you think the odds, what are the odds? Is it better, you have better odds to win maybe the Powerball or better odds to pick a perfect NCAA bracket?
I say a bracket.
The odds are better that you win the lottery. The odds of filling out a perfect ballot are 1 in 9.2 quintillion, according to odds makers who will be offering some real awesome payouts if you could actually come up with the perfect bracket. Almost impossible to do. Okay, we have on the line right now Tanya J. Powers, and the topic this morning, Dave, because I don't have it here.
DeSantis.
Just DeSantis.
It's traveling to New Hampshire.
Oh, he's going to New Hampshire. Okay. Tanya Powers, good morning. Thanks so much for coming on.
Good morning. Yeah, he's going to DeSantis, but DeSantis is going to New Hampshire, but it's next month. The reason that it's making headlines now is because it was just announced he's going to headline the major Republican Party fundraiser in New Hampshire, the Republican State Committee's largest annual fundraiser there in New Hampshire. He's going to speak next month at the Amos Tutt Center in Manchester. It is named for the founder of the Republican Party in the 1850s there in Exeter. So that is the reason this is getting a lot of attention right now. It is, of course, after he's made other recent stops in Nevada and Iowa and early voting states, which is something that we always see from people who are considering a run, whether they've announced or not, for president. And this was, of course, ostensibly stops on his book tour for the book he just put out, The Courage to Be Free. Iowa is also the place where former President Trump was just yesterday, as a matter of fact, with a few choice words to say about Ron DeSantis during his, I believe, during the plane ride with reporters on the way to Iowa. And he said he regretted endorsing DeSantis for governor in 2018.
Wow. Well, what's funny, though, that you're not hearing from DeSantis. He's not criticizing Trump.
he has said that he's not gonna, he's kind of, backed away from that. I think he's trying to sort of, put some distance between, maybe him and quite as much. Although he did say there was I think the audio clip that I heard was something where he did say something about something trumped something else, and it was not obviously not a direct
right
hit, but it was something you definitely was picked up on that.
Yeah, interesting.
And
yeah,
it's
and
he hasn't even announced yet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And for a guy who is not announced yet, he's going in all the right places, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, most people, at this point, it's kind of a sort of an understood thing that the only thing left is just for him to officially announce.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, he's already doing the things that potential presidential candidates would be doing. He's not the only one. Obviously, there are other candidates who have announced. Nikki Haley, the former UN ambassador, she has announced she is also going to early voting states. I think Senator Tim Scott doing the listening tour. Another buzzword term that you look for whenever they'll do a couple of things when they're considering runs for high office like president. They either put out a book or they go on a listening tour or they do both.
Well, and he's kind of doing both, right? He has a book that he says he's gonna work on completing, and of course he's doing the speeches, all in the right places if you're running for president. And
apparently Trump has a book that's coming out next month.
And I've heard about this is a book of letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so is this a book that he is putting out? Because I've heard some description of some of the letters that are not necessarily in a positive light when it comes to dealing with President Trump.
That's a good question. I just know that there is a Letters to Trump book that is coming out. It is. I was assuming it was him putting the book.
Yeah,
out,
I think it is.
But,
yeah.
I'm thinking it is because there's like the letters from Kim Jong-un and one from Oprah back in 2000 and other like world leaders and people like that. I think he's doing it. But yeah, he's gotten some press about that as well. Yeah, this is I'm pretty sure this is a company that's kind of like a family company. I believe that this publishing company is one that was founded by Donald Trump Jr.
Okay.
So yeah, this would be very much something that he would be behind.
And then President Trump is getting some criticism from over the weekend where he had given a speech. And he asked the people about, do any of you have children out there you don't like or a child that you don't like? And, of course, I imagine that the crowd handled it quite well, but his critics are all over that, saying, is he drawing off his own personal experience? Is there one of his own children that he doesn't like? I thought that was pretty interesting over the weekend.
That's a really... I don't know. That's an odd.
Odd
question.
is the word.
Like that's a
right.
really strange. I mean, I'm not sure how he was using what kind of context, what his greater point was for that. But either way, it forces the listener of this question to go. Wait a minute.
Yes. Are you drawing off personal experience?
Or are you? What is? How would this be the example that you would think of? I'm just curious as to what else he said about that. I'm gonna have to look that up because I hadn't seen that quote.
Yeah, and is Eric out there saying, is he talking about me? Which one is saying that?
I mean, he has just fueled SNL for a series of.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
No doubt about it. And then finally, I wanted to ask: is New York City being spared this latest nor'easter, which should be developing today if it's going to hit you guys?
From what I understand, I mean, right now we're just getting rain. That seems to be what I think we're below the line where the worst of it was going to go. I've been keeping an eye on that one as well. Matter of fact, that's one of the stories I'm doing today. Apparently, we're getting some snow. I don't think it's going to be, more than maybe an inch.
Right.
Maybe a few. I mean, it's not going to be. if you look on the the hourly forecast, there's a little cloud and a snowflake.
Yeah.
For the next several hours today. I don't think we're going to get tons of it. I don't think we're going to get what is going to be coming to you up there. Have they what are they saying up there as far as
we've had
and things like that?
Nor'easters are very interesting for us because it all depends on how far in the storm really makes its way inland, and this one seems to be affecting about as far as Syracuse. So we're all getting affected. The roads are rough. We didn't get the snow we thought we were going to get last night, but it's coming down right now. Albany is probably going to be hit pretty hard today with the storm. But, we're probably looking at, when it's all said and done, somewhere between 6 and 12 inches, depending on the elevation of where you're located up here. So, but all
I would assume that they've closed schools and things like that.
All the schools closed today. It's one of those days. One of those fun days you remember in radio. Yes.
Yes. There's no other days quite like school closing snow days.
No doubt.
My patience and sympathies are with you.
Tanya J. Powers, as always, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Anytime. Thank you.
Tanya from Fox News. Today is National Pie Day, and I'm not talking about the pie you like, Davey. 3.14. Today is March 14th.
I like chocolate pie.
So, but all right. Well, I like chocolate pie too. It's also a great pie.
Yes.
Love it, especially when it's that real chocolate pudding as opposed to the instant stuff.
Yeah, with the graham cracker crust.
Good stuff, Davey. You're making me hungry.
And I got a birthday coming up, so maybe someone can make it for me.
Overnight, I had a chance to speak with Brent Axe, and when I say overnight, he responded to me late, and it was like 2:00 in the morning. I was up and responding to him, but Brent out of a job, but still working for Syracuse.com, and I can't say too much about this because of previous relationships. That's all I can say. But I like Brent, and at some point we might be able to talk to him. But he is now off the radio, and we learned yesterday that it was because were you surprised by this headline yesterday? It's because he was talking negatively about Syracuse University.
Yeah, when I read that article, I was like, what? And as soon as
the problem is you're a talk show host. You're supposed to kind of tell it like it is. And there's an interesting story that we'll get into that Sports Illustrated did in covering Brent's firing. And they were quite critical of the fact that he was fired, saying, Syracuse has had 2 very bad basketball seasons and a football team that has struggled for quite some time. What do you expect him to talk about? What do you expect Brent Axe to say?
Yeah, but a certain ex-basketball coach made it fun that they didn't like each other, and he ripped them into the
And
media.
he did talk, Boeheim did talk about radio talk shows and people who call in to radio talk shows, and I think that he was referencing Brent.
Yeah.
And I think that Boeheim is an investor in that station that he was on. So,
yeah, but did you see the tweet or the Facebook page from that certain someone he used to have a relationship with? What he put on his Facebook page?
I did not, Davey, but you could talk about it.
He said that the certain coach is going to be involved in sports media on the radio. So Boeheim maybe possibly going to have a show.
Okay. All right. Well, he's very vibrant, Jim.
I feel bad whoever has to work with him.
I'm a fan. I'm a Boeheim fan, and I do hate to see it end the way it has ended. Although, according to that press conference the other day, it's all lilacs and cotton candy.
Well,
everybody's happy now.
I've had a chance to see his national call-in show at the restaurants in Syracuse, and
listen, I used to do that. I used to do that program where Boeheim would call in every week.
Yeah.
But again, I'm a huge fan. He built the program. And it'll be interesting to see where Autry takes it all. Yeah. All right, got a break. We'll have the school closings for you right after news, top of the hour. WIBX, Utica, Rome.
Hi, Jan from Toyota speaking.
Jan, I heard it's a good time to buy a Toyota.
Sure is. From now until April 4th, you can shop all your favorites like Corolla, RAV4, Sequoia, and more. Imagine yourself in a new Tundra where
you stopped by the home improvement store and finally built that tree house you promised your daughter.
Sarah? When did you hop on the call?
Hi, Dad. Mom said you were taking too long on the phone.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary.
From the Stanley Theater Studio,
Get a smile for
WIBX
all-
950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
All right, we'll give you all the school closings as we have here this morning and all of that coming up. A quick look at your forecast. Still another 4 to 8 inches being predicted for the day today as temperatures will begin to cool off. The roads are slick, so take it easy out there. We'll have that full update and your full forecast coming up.
More background checks. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Only Congress can pass universal background checks for gun purchases. President Biden today announces an executive order meant to do what he can without Congress, directing the Justice Department to clarify who's a gun seller, forcing more to be federally licensed and run checks on buyers. He'll speak about gun violence today in California.
The president travels today to Monterey Park, California. In January, the town was the scene of a deadly shooting at a public dance hall. 11 people were killed. President Biden intends to discuss his continued efforts to reduce gun violence. From there, he plans to travel to Las Vegas, where he is scheduled to take part in a fundraising reception for the Democratic National Committee. The president says he plans to run for re-election in 2024, but as of now has not made those plans official. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
President Biden met yesterday in San Diego with the leaders of Australia and Great Britain, announcing more details of a plan for Australia to buy nuclear-powered submarines to keep up with China's military. Members of Congress are split on the approval of an oil drilling project in Alaska.
An environmental injustice. That's how Massachusetts Democratic Senator Ed Markey drilled President Biden's decision to partially approve the several billion-dollar Willow project in northern Alaska that environmentalists call a, quote, carbon bomb. Supporters of the project, like Republican Congressman Chip Roy, argue it's good for the economy and supports energy independence. On Fox's The Faulkner Focus, though, he criticized that the president only approved part of the project.
The Biden administration wants to throw out crumbs with a bit of production.
The president's move also blocks drilling for millions of acres. Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
A pickup truck plows into pedestrians in Quebec, Canada, killing 2 men with 9 people injured. Police say the hit-and-run driver turned himself in and that this was not terrorism. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, I've told you about how Relief Factor helped me with my aches and pains. Let me tell you about Haven in Texas. Haven writes, I'm taking Relief Factor from my shoulder and lower back, and it works. No more pain. My husband started taking Relief Factor for his upper back and hip and didn't think it was working until he ran out and realized the pain was coming back. Relief Factor just works. We are so happy it's working for you and your husband like it does for thousands of others across America. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free solution developed by doctors to help your body attack the underlying inflammation causing pain. What activity would you like to be doing again? Your first step to becoming pain-free could just be to order the 3-week Quick Start for only $19.95. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to find out more about this offer. That's 800-4RELIEF. Live your best life and feel the difference with Relief Factor.
Garbage is piling up on sidewalks in Paris, France. It's the 9th day of a sanitation worker strike over plans to raise the retirement age by 2 years from 62 to 64. A legal overhaul in Israel is closer to fruition.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wants Israel's parliament to be able to pass laws the Supreme Court can't overturn. An overnight session of that parliament, the Knesset, approved the bill along with another that would allow highly controversial settlements in the northern West Bank. There are also plans to protect the Prime Minister from being declared unfit for office. The proposed judicial overhaul has drawn tens of thousands into the streets, protesting that democracy is at risk. Each bill needs more votes before becoming law. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Punishment for a Vermont school that boycotted a girls' basketball game against a team with a transgender player.
Mid-Vermont Christian School forfeited the basketball game last month, saying it believed the transgender player jeopardizes the fairness of the game and the safety of its players. The governing body for Vermont school sports and activities ruled the school violated policies and is ineligible to take part in future tournaments. The move applies to all sports, and it issued a statement reiterating its support of transgender student athletes, saying in part they're part of building an inclusive community for each student to grow and thrive. Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
A Nicaraguan pitcher makes a big impression at the World Baseball Classic. Duque Hebert, 21 years old, listed at 5'9" tall, struck out 3 Major League superstars in the 9th inning of a game against the Dominican Republic: Rafael Devers, Julio Rodriguez, and Juan Soto. A Detroit Tiger scout was impressed enough to hunt Hebert down after the game and sign him to a minor league contract. He won't be making Jimmy Garoppolo money, though. The free agent 49ers quarterback is expected to sign with the Las Vegas Raiders, reportedly for $67.5 million over 3 years. He replaces Derek Carr as quarterback he signed with the New Orleans Saints. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
All right, WIBX News time is 7:05. Let's start with the school closings that we have here this morning. We are in the midst of a winter storm warning. Another 4 to 8 inches is expected today. It's snowing quite heavily out there now. Slippery conditions. Give yourself a little extra time. We'll give you the full forecast coming up here. Right now, the following schools are closed: Brookfield, Camden, Central Valley Academy, also Clinton Central, Cooperstown, Edmiston, Frankfort Schuyler, Hamilton, Colgate University is closed. Herkimer Bosse's, Herkimer Central School, Holland Patton Central School, Little Falls, Madison Central, Madison Oneida Bosse's, Mohawk Valley Christian Academy, Morrisville Eaton Central School is closed today. These schools are all closed. Mount Markham Central, New Hartford, the New York Mills Central School District, Notre Dame, Oneida City School District, Oneida Herkimer Madison Bosse's is closed today. Oriskany, O&D Young Central School closed. Poland, Remsen, Rome City School District. Sequoia Valley is closed. Also closed today is SUNY Poly, Utica Academy of Science, the Utica City School District, VVS, Waterville Central School, West Canada Valley Central School, Westmoreland, Whitesboro, also closed here today. Along with related issues of the weather, a state of emergency remains in effect in several counties as snow continues to accumulate across central New York. Precipitation is expected to keep falling throughout the day today, meaning that any commute could be potentially dangerous for people to travel. We'll have the full forecast for you coming up in just a moment. This is a wet, heavy snow, although it is expected to cool off as the day goes on, but it's wet and heavy. National Grid says it is prepared to help out customers who end up losing their power during the winter storm. The utility company has increased staffing so emergencies can be handled quickly, and also made sure that line, tree, and public safety crews are in place in locations that are likely to be the hardest hit. People are being asked to stay away from downed power lines and report them immediately to National Grid. Customers who want to report outages can do so by texting OUT to 64743, or you could certainly call National Grid. A 2-car accident in the village of Mohawk occurred yesterday afternoon on Route 5S between the, I guess that would be the Washington Street Bridge and 5S on Main Street. The 5S there was closed. It was a 2-car accident. Authorities are now reporting, state police reporting, that one person has died. At this point, we'll have further details as they become available. The latest data from the New York State Flu Tracker shows there is still a low number of flu cases being reported in central New York during the week ending March 4th. The area with the highest number of infections was Onondaga County with 10. Madison County had the second highest number of cases during that time period with 6, and Oswego and Oneida counties had 3 each. Later this hour, we will speak with Dr. Kent Hall from MVHS. The Mega Millions jackpot is still on the rise and now has grown to over $225 million. The prize will be up for grabs in tonight's drawing. And Popular Band has added its name to the growing list of shows at the St. Joseph's Health Amphitheater at Lakeview. The Counting Crows will be taking the stage at the Syracuse concert venue on Saturday, July the 1st. WIBX News Time is 7:09.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Steady wet snow accumulating 4 to 8 inches with locally higher amounts northeast, southeast, south, and southwest of the Mohawk Valley. Breezy, colder, high 33. Tonight, windy evening, snow tapers to flurries, low 25. Tomorrow, lingering leftover lighter snow showers and flurries taper early. Windy and chilly with increasing afternoon sunshine, high 34. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
And currently it is snowing. We're in the midst of a winter storm warning. The temperature right now is 31 degrees. All right, checking a little bit of sports action. The rumor mill is saying that Aaron Rodgers has been traded. It's all but announced at this point that he's been traded to the New York Jets. We'll see what happens as the day goes on, but one NFL insider thinks the deal is done. On Monday, Trey Wingo tweeted, Rodgers to the Jets is done. History about to repeat itself between New York and Green Bay. Time is indeed a flat circle. Wingo was also the one who broke the news that Rodgers was open to playing for the New York Jets. Let's see. In the NBA, the Nets will visit the Thunder tonight. Knicks will visit the Trailblazers. In the NHL, Rangers host the Capitals. Devils host the Lightning tonight. And the Islanders will visit the Kings tonight. In World Baseball Classic, the United States started hot and cruised to a 12-1 crushing over Canada in the World Baseball Classic play at Chase Field in Phoenix. The U.S. jumped up to a 9-0 lead following the first inning and never looked back in a game that was called after 7 innings. The NCAA tournament, Colgate will take on Texas on Thursday at 7:25. That'll be in Des Moines, Iowa. And the Utica Pioneers. Tickets are now on sale at the Adirondack Bank Center box office for the NCAA quarterfinals as the odd is going dancing. Utica University Pioneers will take on the University of New England this Saturday, 7 p.m. at the Adirondack Bank Center. Tickets are available to the general public right now. You can purchase them. I believe they're only somewhere $10 a piece, something like that. That's all settled by the NCAA. But all tickets are on sale right now for Saturday night's game. It's 7:11. Coming up, we'll talk to Dr. Kent Hall later on in the hour. Bob Cardillo is on to talk about a bit of a controversy where the chair of the Utica City Party criticized him for what he called disrespectful behavior. Bob Cardillo will respond to that coming up in a bit. It's slick out there. The snow is coming down in the midst of a snowstorm. Another 4 to 8 inches expected today. Leave a little extra time on your way in this morning. 712 at WIBX.
Step into spring with Adirondack Home Furniture and quality furniture that's sure to enhance any living space. Whether it be for your great room, your new home office, or outside patio, Adirondack Home Furniture has your style. From modern to farmhouse, rustic to transitional, handcrafted pieces that are totally customizable and are built for enduring use. Beautiful sofas and reclining furniture from Flex Steel, designer fabrics and top brand leathers. With free local delivery and a knowledgeable staff, you'll have your dream home in no time. Adirondack Home Furniture has a large line of quality USA-made furniture from top manufacturers. Our salespeople are non-commissioned, which means you enjoy a relaxing, non-stressful experience. So stop in today to Adirondack Home Furniture for living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and home office. You'll find everything you need for your dream home. Adirondack Home Furniture at Riverside Center in North Utica or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com. Create the home of your dreams with Adirondack Home Furniture.
Hi, this is Shalene with Northland Trailers located on River Road in Marcy. At Northland, we offer a full line of utility, snowmobile, enclosed, dump, and equipment trailers. We can also custom design a trailer to meet your specific needs. In addition to trailers, we have a full parts showroom and we service what we sell. Our family business is proud to have been serving our community for over 4 decades. Northland Trailers is located right outside the city of Utica. So swing on down and let's talk towing.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
For your financial advice to be useful, it needs to be tailored to how you live your life. I'm Jim McGuire, branch manager of Baird's Utica office. At Baird, we provide investment and financial planning for all areas of your life. Retirement, family, and estate plans, and charitable giving. Plus, we coordinate our advice with your tax and legal advisors, so you can be confident all your plans are working together for you. Discover the Baird difference. Visit BairdUtica.com.
Hi, I'm Joe Carbone. Welcome to Harley-Davidson of Utica. Get a jump on your riding season with over 120 Harley-Davidson motorcycles to choose from. Harley-Davidson Motor Company 120th anniversary celebration is March 25th. Stop in for food, beverages, music, and lots of Harley-Davidson giveaways. Register to win a 2023 Breakout and a free trip to Milwaukee for the anniversary blowout. So come to Harley-Davidson of Utica March 25th for our great event.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit your local Kubota dealer for a demo today.
Log on or give us a call today at whitesfarmsupply.com.
White's Farm Supply.
Hey, Ricky Z right now at Steve Ponte Mazda, and their Move to Mazda sales event is back. I got to say, the CX-9 with good snow tires, you're flying through the well, you can't go too fast, right? Because you still have to be able to stop. But the reality is the vehicle is great in the snow. And right now, Steve Ponte Mazda is doing their Move to Mazda sales event. It's back. 0.9% APR financing up to 36 months on all new 2023 Mazda CX-30s, CX-5s, and CX-50s. If you've been noticing a lot more Mazdas driving by on the road, if they're driving by you, you're seeing more and more of them on the highway, it's because people are now driving the award-winning Mazda. It's a hot brand right now. And Rick says, come on in. They'll set up a deal. Let's make your deal on a brand new Mazda. The Move to Mazda sales event is going on right now from the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction. That's something that Rick is very, very proud of. People are treated respectfully, and it is truly a different buying experience. Steve Ponte Mazda on Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, it's a wet snow that is a bit on the slick side this morning. And I'll tell you that different areas, I'm being told about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in the valley. How much did you have this morning when you left, Davey?
I left early, so there was about 3 inches on the.
I'd say we're looking out out in our lot. We're probably looking at about 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches right now. So it seems that Herkimer County has not been hit as hard. Where is Wayne located? Do we know?
Wayne lives in Utica.
Wayne is at about 4.5 inches right now. He's shown me the photo and the measuring stick showing about 4.5 inches. How have you done? Any of the higher elevations? You can certainly let us know at 315-736-0186, and we'll get into it. Richard, of course, made some predictions saying he would be shocked if we got 2 inches. Richard, I got to say, this is not the big 1 foot, 2 feet of snow type storm, but I got to say, this would be considered a fairly significant snowstorm. It's not one of the biggies. It'll not be one of the ones we talk about in the history books, but I think it qualifies as a snowstorm, and all the schools are closed. I don't know how else to, Davey, I don't know how else we describe that, except that Richard might have been wrong.
Yeah, you have to make some cheesecakes for being wrong.
I think you might have to. He may owe us some stuff here. Dr. Kent Hall from MVHS on the line right now. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Well, we're loving the weather. You know, we really escaped winter all winter long. And now we're just a week away or so from the first day of spring. And look at this. We've had snow significantly every week since the end of February.
Yeah, we've been we were lucky until we weren't.
Yes.
But I'm sure that, there are skiers and snowmobilers that are, pretty happy right now.
No doubt about it. All right, Doc, let's talk about, first of all, there's the New York State flu tracker is showing a low number of flu cases throughout the state and throughout central New York. I'm assuming you're feeling the same thing.
Yeah, we haven't had a patient admitted to the health system for flu probably in about 3 weeks, I would say. So we track both. We track COVID, we track flu, and this year we started tracking RSV because of what was going on really in November, December. Both flu and RSV have been nothing for the last couple or 3 weeks. And we had that huge blip of flu cases that happened relatively early in the flu season, but then just as quickly as it went up, it went back down again, which was very good.
Yeah. Talk about, if you could, the COVID numbers.
Yeah, so our COVID numbers for inpatients have also started to come down. We're running in the low teens, I would say 12, 13, 14. For patients that are admitted to the health system with COVID, which is, it's been kind of a gradual decline over the last, I would say, month and a half or 2 months. We were running in the high 30s just a couple months ago, and it wasn't like it fell off a cliff. It just kind of gradually declined to where it is now. I will say, though, that there are still people who are testing positive within the community. So the community spread seems to still be pretty high, but thankfully, given the variant that's currently circulating, and I'm sure, the fact that people have either been sick with COVID and or had the vaccine, people are not getting sick enough to need to be hospitalized with it.
Yeah. And then there are these other lingering viruses or whatever that are out there that are ailing people. It's not flu. It's not COVID. It's not RSV, but it's enough to get them down. I'm not sure what Manaski has this morning, but he sounded terrible this morning when we spoke to him, and he's out today.
Yeah, there's a number. I'd say there's about 20 or 24 different respiratory viruses. They all have, interesting names that we can test for. I'm sure that there may actually be even more than that. We don't test for all of them all the time, and the reason is because there's really not much we can do for it in terms of specific treatment. It's really, make sure you're hydrated, take ibuprofen or Tylenol for for fever and body aches, and basically stay away from other people so that they don't get sick. We really test when people need to come into the hospital, and that's really so we can make sure that that we place in isolation those people that really need it, so that there is not transmission to staff or to other patients.
I wanted to ask you a little bit on the new hospital. Here we are, counting down to about 7 months now to the point where we're dealing with the opening of the hospital. Where do we stand now, and what kind of things are being done? I know that the plan to transition is now out and in place, but what's being done right now to prepare for when, it's one of the things we really didn't think about, a new hospital, but you have to move two existing hospitals, everything over to the new hospital.
Yeah, so there's a lot of planning. I mean, I would break it down, I personally would break it down probably into three different things. So there's the bricks and mortar, there's the building of the building, okay? And everybody can see that, and it's going along great, and we're on track for that. The second is the equipment that goes into the building. So the vast majority of the equipment that's going to go into the building is going to be brand new equipment. There have been some things that we have needed to buy for the existing two facilities over the last couple years, and we have specifically bought them in a way that they can be moved over. And so that planning is going on. And then the third, which to me is, one of the most important, if not the most important, is really getting the staff, getting the nurses, the EVS workers, the cafeteria workers, the docs, the PAs and nurse practitioners, and get them aware of and acclimated to and develop the processes that they will use for a new building. So it's not like you can take the way that we did work at St. Luke's or at St. Elizabeth's and move it into the Wynn Hospital, because it's an entirely different environment. It's got different technology. I mean, it's as a building, it's much bigger than either one of the two existing buildings. So we have to build all new processes for them. We call that our operational readiness work. That's been going on, kind of in a development phase, I would say, for the last couple of years. But over the last 2 or 3 months, it's really kicked into high gear to the point where we are going to, when we take possession of the building, which will happen in late summer, we're actually going to have people coming down and doing mock drills and walkthroughs, and how will you work on your particular unit, whether it's the emergency department or the intensive care unit or the operating room. So there's a lot of work for the what I would call the soft aspect, which is the hard aspect is the bricks and mortars and the equipment. The soft aspect is really the people and developing those things. So there's a lot more to it than just, we're going to move some patients into a building and take care of them the way that we have been. Our processes are going to be very different.
I have a question from Marianne, who says that since having COVID twice, it seems that like never before, she says, she has, whether it be congestion or more so a draining, a runny nose, since having COVID. Is it something that is related to COVID? It's something that she feels that she did not have prior to having COVID-19.
Yeah, so that's a good question. And what we do know about COVID is that it does cause significant inflammation. That's why people got as sick as they did, and they needed to be in the hospital and in the intensive care unit. What I would say is that that what we know about long COVID is that long COVID is basically an ongoing inflammation, a kind of a lower grade inflammation in different areas of the body. And so it's quite possible that, if you have chronic sinus congestion and inflammation, or nasal congestion and inflammation, then you are going to get, like runny nose. The same could happen like with the eyes, any kind of mucous membrane. And so it's quite possible. I haven't seen any scientific articles that have specifically address that, but just looking at it from from how does this disease work, that I would say that that's definitely a possibility.
I mean, without really a long-term study and a study on a lot of people, how will we really ever know, and I'm assuming we will know at some point, but how do we know now that conditions that people are experiencing have to do with COVID or long COVID? Because it could very well be just
that's a really good point.
coincidence.
And the reality is that, unlike diseases that have been around forever and we've been able to march them out over time, do what we call our longitudinal studies, COVID has been around for 3 years, so we just don't have that time frame. It's going to take us, and longitudinal studies can last, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. So, I would say it's going to take us another 2 or 3 years before we really get a good understanding of what the longer term effects are. But then again, and that will need to go out 10 years and 15 years as well.
And then somebody asking about the medicine that was on the news the other night for cholesterol. For those people that struggle with statins, it looks like there's a new pill. Is it called Nexlizet that is out? Have you seen anything on that, and what are your thoughts?
So this is a good, it looks like, I mean, again, this is relatively preliminary, but I would say that it looks like this is a good medication for patients or for people who suffer from having cholesterol, high cholesterol, and because of the side effects of the statins, which really tend to be around, muscle cramps and things like that, or inflammation of the liver, they are not really able to take those long term. So it looks like, based on the research that we currently have available, that this would be a good alternative. Again, it's a brand new medication, so we don't know, we haven't done larger studies over larger populations to know, number one, is it truly as effective? It looks like it is, but, until we get those, we won't know for sure. And the other is, what are the side effects that might happen for patients where, that they don't happen, 1 in 10 or 1 in 15, they happen 1 in 100,000 or something like that. Because when you give it to an entire population, then that ends up being a significant number of people. So I would say preliminary data looks like it is going to be useful and fill a niche, but yet to be determined just how big that niche is.
And that will be a daily pill, I think?
I believe so. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I don't have in my head exactly what the dosing regimen is.
Okay. And then I wonder that we talk about long COVID, and you talk about someone who goes on statins and they're feeling aches and pains, but were those aches and pains around before they started taking the statins? And the other part of this is, with Google and the internet, it's got to cause a great deal of frustration for physicians, because people are doing a lot of self-diagnosis. And I wonder how much, when you look up, for instance, you take medicine and you look up the potential side effects for a medicine, I wonder how much of a placebo effect is included, where it's almost as if you're I don't want to say making yourself sick, but all of a sudden noticing conditions that might have been around long before taking this medicine, but you feel like you're having these side effects. How difficult is it for I'd call it the Google effect that physicians have to deal with today?
Yeah, so we doctors, euphemistically call it Dr. Google. And the reality is that, there's an axiom in medicine, actually it's an ethical thing as well, which is that doctors should never treat themselves or their family members. And the reason is because we are biased. We are going to worry about every little thing, that could happen. And so we need to have some degree of objectivity in order to really take care of people well. I will say that the same is true for anybody who is going online and reading information. First of all, There's a lot of information online that may or may not be accurate. There are some websites that I think are have very accurate information. So you need to be sure that you're actually looking at those. The other is that, it's very, we read, we as human beings will read something and automatically, go to the worst case scenario. It's actually the way that that we were developed evolutionary. If you go back 50,000 years or more, any rustle in the grass was a tiger that was going to jump out and bite us. So we're looking for bad things.
Right.
When in point of fact, they may not always be that bad. And so that's why you need to understand what the probabilities are and what other things you need to look for. And that's why medical school is as long as it is.
However, it's important for people to be their own advocate, right? And they understand it, most likely their own body. That's also important to be able to communicate that to your physician.
Absolutely true. So I would not minimize that in any way, shape, or form. People need to be able to your point, to communicate to their doctors or their providers, how they normally feel and how this is different.
Yeah.
That's really very important information.
Talking to Dr. Kent Hall from MVHS, the title, Jeff is out, so we have no paperwork today, but your title is the Chief Physician Executive at MVHS. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, my title is morphing because of some changes that we've made. So I'm now I am the Senior Vice President over Physician Operations and Processes.
Oh, don't expect me to remember that.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't going to.
Doc, thank you. Let me take one call, though. Kathy in Rome has been waiting. Kathy, you're on with Dr. Kent Hall. Good morning.
Good morning. Dr. Hall, I had my latest COVID booster shot in October. Is there any updated boosters or anything to come along?
So if you had the one in October, that's probably the bivalent one, which is both for the latest Omicron, or actually the early Omicron variant, as well as the original Delta. And so there hasn't been an update in terms of the vaccine itself, and I have not seen anything where they're saying that people should be getting them on a regular basis, whether it's 4 months or 6 months. I am looking for probably going to an annual or maybe a biannual vaccine schedule for COVID, but I haven't actually seen that come out from the CDC yet.
All right.
So right now, my recommendation is that there's no indication that you need one right now.
Right.
However, I would also offer you some advice, which is that, if you're planning on going on a trip and, you're going to be outside of what I would call your normal bubble of people, you might want to consider getting a booster and or at least making sure that you're protecting yourself with, masking and things like that.
All right. And
Great,
Kathy, by the way, congratulations on Michigan State and Coach Izzo getting into the tournament.
Oh, I was getting worried. It got down to the last 4 choices, and I says,
yeah,
they're going to be going with Syracuse, and they're not going to be in it. And I was dumbfounded.
There was no way Syracuse was getting in. So, all right. Well, congratulations and good luck, okay?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Kathy. Thank you. And Dr. Hall, as always, thank you. We'll do it again next week. Have a wonderful day and be careful out there with the weather.
Yeah, everybody, please be safe out there because the driving can be very treacherous.
Yep, thanks
Have
so
a good
much.
day.
Thank you. When we talk about that driving, we're talking about slippery conditions. It's a wet snow. It's a heavy snow. You got to be careful with that. Just be aware that it's, we're nearing the end of the winter season. I do have a bunch of school closings. It's basically everybody. But let me go through what I have here, and these are all closed. Are you ready? Davey, are you ready for this? This is
Yes,
a list
go
and
ahead.
a half.
Shoot from the hip.
Good day for Manaski to be out sick. I think he picked the perfect day, although he sounded terrible. I'm not implying that he's not sick. I don't expect him in tomorrow. I don't want him spreading his virus with the rest of us. These schools are closed. Brookfield, Camden, Central Valley Academy. Also closed is Clinton, Cooperstown, Edmiston, Frankfurt Schuyler, Hamilton, Colgate University, is closed. Herkimer Bosse's, Herkimer Central School, Holland Patton, Little Falls, Madison Central School is closed. All closed. Madison Oneida Bosse's, Mohawk Valley Christian Academy, Morrisville Eaton, Mount Markham Central School. New Hartford is closed today. New York Mills, Notre Dame, Oneida City Schools, Oneida Herkimer Madison Bosse's is closed. Oppenheim Ephrata St. Johnsville is closed. Oriskany, O&D Young, Poland, Remsen, Rome City Schools, Sequoia Valley. Also closed is St. Patrick's St. Francis de Sales in Herkimer. Closed SUNY Poly today. Utica Academy of Science, Utica City School District, VVS, Waterville, West Canada, Westmoreland, Whitesboro Central School, all closed. The roads are slick. We're expecting another 4 to 8 inches before it's all said and done, although this is expected to linger with some wind and some light snow into tomorrow morning. But for today, it's one of those snow days we're all likely to deal with. Hopefully this will maybe be the last one of the season, although you never know. Davey, let's do our free money question of the day from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. And this morning we're looking for caller number
4.
4. Make it easy. 4th caller through the lines. Great question. Chance for you to win $100 plus tickets to Fat Cats Comedy Club. In addition, we have the Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. So even if you lose, you win. 4th caller right now, 315-736-0186. Your chance to win from WIBX.
COVID is still spreading. Don't let your guard down. Anyone can get severely ill from COVID. But your risk is greater if you're over 65, if you're obese, have heart or lung disease, diabetes, or another underlying health condition. Lower your risk of serious illness, hospitalization, and death with the most up-to-date COVID vaccines, including the booster. Learn more at ny.gov/booster.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, "Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing." Or this one, "I use Navage every night. Could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better." Unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
How do you sum up 70 years in 30 seconds? The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties has helped nonprofit groups put more than $110 million donor dollars to work over the last 7 decades. Programs, services, people, places, progress. Our 30 seconds are about up, but we're just getting started. Learn more at foundationhoc.org and help us work toward a vibrant region with opportunity for all.
When you know your worth, you move a little differently. You're more confident. You feel valued. You won't settle for less. And when you know your home's worth with AmeriQ, You can use that equity to make the most out of life. It's good to know your worth. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Visit ameriq.org/home equity today. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, coming up, we'll speak with Bob Cardillo, and a little tiff going on between Bob and the Republican committee. We'll get into that coming up in a second. Right now, Sandy is on in Utica. Hello, Sandy. How you doing? Apparently, she's packing up the car. Hi, Sandy. Good morning. Hello, Sandy. Davey, you want to try her in the other room? Dun, 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 dun.
Yes, yep.
Yeah. Good morning. How are you? Okay. I don't know what they're going to say, so. This is so funny. Somehow Sandy got distracted, forgot she was on the radio to win a contest, and now she's being packed into the car or she was packing boxes. Looks like we got her back here. What are you packing in the car? What's going on there, Sandy?
Well, we're snow.
Oh, you're shoveling snow. You're out, so I see. All right, well,
plowing snow.
All right, we're going to make this fast for you. You don't need to be distracted by us, right? All right, here we go. Here is your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer, okay? And I love this question because I love this. I love this candy bar. All right, here we go. This is in the category candy. And here's the question. In 1930, this candy bar was named after the Mars family's favorite horse. What was the horse's name, which ultimately became the name of the candy bar? One of my favorites. Ready? Go.
Three Musketeers.
Is it Three Musketeers? No. Try again.
No.
You got extra time. Pick another one.
Mounds, Almonds, Joy. No.
The horse's name was Snickers.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Listen, what are you going to do, right? I will give you, though, we should give you a new shovel. Unfortunately, I don't have a shovel to give you. The Utica All-in-One Food and Fun card. So you're going to be out there shoveling. This will be a $25 gift card for you. Good at any of the properties over there. The Aquavino, Babe, 72 Tavern and Grill, Taylor and the Cook, or any of the concession stands at the Adirondack Bank Center. We'll also give you Michael Harrison is a phenomenal comedian. He's been in movies, HBO, Comedy Central, phenomenal comedian. He's in this weekend at Fat Cats Comedy Club with shows Friday and Saturday. We'll give you a table for 6, and Davey's going to hook you up, okay?
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, and good luck. Good luck shoveling.
Thank you.
It's a heavy snow, right? It's heavy.
It's very heavy, yeah.
Yeah. All right, good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and Davey has you in there. Okay. In studio right now is Bob Cardillo. Bob, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, it is a heavy snow, right?
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, it was a little slow going on the way over here.
Bob is running for, and Dave is in with us as well. Dave, good morning. Good morning. I've got your microphone there. Gentlemen, of course, Bob, you're running for mayor of Utica as a Republican and as a conservative.
Correct.
And there was a little something that went on. Let's start with your interpretation of what happened with the Republican Party, because I think it was quite substantial for the chairman of the party, and you're a former chair of the Republican Party, to come out and say publicly, this is what Bob did, and I thought it was inappropriate. He called you disrespectful.
Wow.
How do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, as a former chair who ran a pretty successful operation, that's something I would have never done. However, having said that, I mean, my whole point is that I'm not interested in getting into a fight with anybody. Since November 10th, since I announced, I've talked about issues, and I think you know that.
Yep.
Every week we've had a release on some issue that people need to hear about, whether it was St. Elizabeth's Hospital, whether it was the poor, dealing with issues with the poor, whether it's economic development. Those were the things that I'm concerned about. what happened, and I don't want to get into it really, and I don't want to.
I'm going to read what they sent me.
well,
I'll read that for you.
Yeah,
but
well, go
just
ahead.
you want me to read it now? I get
Go
that.
ahead,
Okay, I'll get that out of the way. You know me, Bob. I got to at least read this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so. Hi, Bob. We have a petition packet for you and Nick. Would you like one of us to deliver it to your house tomorrow? And then you responded.
No. Let me answer. Let me deal with that first.
Okay, go ahead.
The person who sent this is a personal friend it was called Breakfast with Bob, and I don't want to talk about names because I don't think it's important.
Okay.
She's
the clerk, right?
Not the clerk. She's the secretary. Secretary of the committee. She'd been in my home. I'm friends with her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend. He actually lived in my house. We had breakfast for like 3 months, constantly talking about not just the campaign, but talking about family and personal things. And I hadn't heard from her since the day of the nomination. And well and good, she voted against me. That's
so this
fine.
This is personal,
right? That's fine.
Okay.
So. Now I get this. It's Saturday evening, about 8:30, 8:45, after I just got through campaigning all day, and I get this text, and I'm like, "Why would they ask me to carry petitions?
Right.
I've got my own petitions to worry about. I'm carrying for myself here."
And your response was, "Wow."
Yeah, exactly. So I said, "Wow,"
and she responded by saying, "Why, wow? It has the county race petitions in it. If you already have those." That's great. I was just checking in. And then here's your response, according to, you can confirm this.
I said, why, wow.
She said, why, wow. You said, you have a lot of nerve, lady. That is why, wow, is appropriate response. This conversation is over, and I will pass the message along to my son. I'm sure he will be quite entertained. Call me. And then there was a thing in there where you were talking to your son. You thought you were messaging him. This conversation is over. She said, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'll pass the message to Mike Gentile. As the secretary for the city committee, I'm helping get the packets out. No need to be disrespectful to me. And then this is your son. Is it Nick? It is Nick. He said, hi, Regina. It's Nick Cardillo. My dad messaged me telling me you had petitions to give me. I don't associate myself with you two-faced, backstabbing individuals such as yourself. Have a good night, and that's where it ended.
Yeah,
so
and
this got heated.
It was reality. It's like, why are you asking me to carry petitions? And it was funny because yesterday I happened to have it on when Celeste was on.
Right.
And you asked her the same question.
She said she's not. She's not carrying any.
Why would I've got to be concerned about getting myself on the ballot? All right. So that's what I'm concerned about. Now, I haven't heard from you since the night or the afternoon of the nomination. Now, all of a sudden, it's like hunky-dory. Are you gonna carry petitions? So, as far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Was it a knee-jerk reaction? You feel that
from me?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it was. I was quite frankly, I was offended. That's why I said, "Wow."
Okay.
It's like, come on, why are you asking me this? You know, I'm running for mayor.
Right.
And I've got to get my own petition. So why would I be concerned? And something else that needs to be said. I absolutely support the county executive. I support Tony Pacenti.
Because his petition would have been in that packet as well.
Yeah, but I'm not going to carry a packet with 12 signatures when I got to go get my own.
Right.
Okay? And I'm sure any other buddy else running is concerned with their own.
Don't they usually, though, when you go out, you'll get the signature for yourself, and then you'll say, I also have a signature.
Not when I got 100 signatures. First of all, in this weather, the conditions we're in, you think people want to sit there and sign more than a multitude?
Right.
And the other thing is when I go out, because I'm going out myself, when I go out, among others, we have a lot of volunteers, but I was telling Dave yesterday, I went and I got a signature. It took me an hour. You know why? Because the lady was a friend and she wanted me to sit down and have dinner.
Right.
I mean, and I love this. This is what I enjoy the most. So as far as I'm concerned, it's like, look, I was offended and I was hurt that you would actually ask me to carry petitions. If you had called me and said something, not this text stuff, and then Gentile called me and was kind of abrupt, and I'm like, okay, just all of you leave me alone. I have my own campaign to run. You don't support me, so let me go my merry way.
Yeah.
And I don't, like I said, I don't want to fight with anybody. And I support the county executive. I support Nessa Carbone big time. She's going to be a great controller. I support Todd Carville for DA. So, it's not like I don't support the other people on the ticket. So that's my position.
And then do you find it unprecedented that this has been aired out, I guess?
Yeah, I think, there's certain things that you keep it. Why you would go this far to talk about it is beyond me, because as far as I'm concerned, it's not a campaign issue. A campaign issue are the things that I have in this binder.
Right.
The things that I've talked about every time I've come on the air with you.
We're speaking with Bob Cardillo. He's running for mayor, and also in is Dave Zogby. Dave, do you what do you want to add here? I know Bob wanted you to come along.
Yeah, well, the only reason I'm here, Bill, is I wanted to talk about the nomination process with the Conservative Party.
Yeah.
So as a member of the Conservative Party, I just wanted to state, because I know there was some rumblings that Bob might have had some favor with the Conservatives or whatever. And the reality is it was a very open and transparent process. Our committee met a couple of times prior to the nomination. We broke into groups. Each one of our committees had specific candidates that we vetted to make the process easy and come back and make our recommendations. On the day of the nominations, we allowed all candidates that were seeking the endorsement to come in. They had time to submit a resume, to talk about their backgrounds, to discuss issues. It was a very fair process. And with the Conservative Party, it's not only people from Utica, it's people from the outskirts. You've got people from Whitestown, from Clinton, from New York Mills. So it's inclusive, but it also, they have a stake in it, because what happens in Utica affects every village around us, every town around us. So Bob came in and vetted. He did an outstanding job with his presentation. He hit on some very important and key issues that had a lot of conservative values with him. He had been a conservative, he's conservative in the past. He has ties to the Conservative Party and the way of that he spent a lot of time with conservatives. He made his presentation. Mr. Galimi made his presentation. At the end of that, they asked for a vote. Now, we had two gentlemen there from regional people.
Morrisville. And
right.
Yeah.
Okay, very nice guys. They did a great job organizing this to make it fair. And the ultimate decision, after our recommendations, was made by the state chair. Okay?
So I would ask, did it come into play? And Bob, forgive me, but this is just stuff people are bringing to me. Number one, that if Bob stays, and you basically said you're going to stay in the race if you lose the Republican primary. I know that there were complaints that people had on this from the Conservative Party that basically said, if that's the case, we're basically putting a Democrat in. Because it's going to split the Republican vote. And then the other part, people have questioned the fact that at some point you were a Democrat. Up in maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you were a Democrat. And now, how did you handle that? How did the Conservative Party handle those issues?
Well, first of all, we looked overall, at what somebody's past has been, what they've offered to the Conservative Party, what principles they've displayed, the type of work they can do. I mean, Bill, in reality, there's a lot of people that for one reason or other have switched parties. Tony Pacenti's opponent, it was, I think he was a Democrat at one time, or he switched back.
Does he have an official opponent right now?
Hennessy.
It is Hennessy, but I don't know if I don't know if he's official.
Right, but I mean, there's a lot of different.
Did he screen in front of the Conservative Party, Hennessy?
Yes,
he did. Okay.
Yes, he did. So at the end, Bob made his pitch. He talked about issues. People asked a lot of questions. Bob answered the questions. He was well received. Mr. Gleamy came in. He talked a little bit about his background, and people know that he was he is the president of the Common Council. He talked about his background a little bit and answered some questions. At the end of the day,
the state chair made the choice.
Right.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, the vote was 13-2.
Okay.
In Bob's favor. So, I mean, that's pretty clear.
Okay.
I mean, there was, So.
All right. Bob, I'm coming up on my time here. What else do you want to add? And I know you want to, and we'll get you back in to talk about issues, but this is...
I just think that we need to move forward. This isn't about personalities, and in terms of the Republican vote, it's up to the people.
Right.
It's not up to the party insiders. It's up to the people to vote. We're putting our best foot forward. I want to represent all the people. We have a lot of things we need to discuss. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to talk about this anymore.
Can I ask you one question, though, on which is not necessarily about this, but on the Democratic, what would you say to Republicans? Because this is going to be and conservatives. The fact that you did go to the,
here's what I would
you
say.
became a Democrat.
There was a reason why I did that, and I've told everybody why I did that.
On the local level, we see this happen.
I mean, not only that, I'm not the only. I was a friend, and you know a little bit of the background of the Brindisi family, and I supported Anthony.
You say you were?
Well, I am, but I
I
supported Anthony, and I was part of the family. And, I wasn't the only Republican, or the only, and I changed because he didn't know if he was going to have a primary or not, and he would have my primary vote.
Yeah.
How many Republicans, and because you worked with Claudia, how many Republicans supported Anthony?
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about major Republican leaders supported Anthony. So that's the only reason why. And I wasn't involved politically at that point. I was more interested in what I was doing with my business.
Yeah.
So,
and to be fair, I worked with Claudia back before when she was in the assembly.
Right,
but either way, I think a lot of Republicans supported.
A lot of Republicans supported Anthony.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Anything else you want to add on this? I know you want to move on to talk about issues.
Yeah, we'll do that again.
Off the top of your head, what are the key issues that you feel should be discussed out there? I want to give you that opportunity.
It's the opportunity to continue the progress that we've been making. I think we need to move forward with that. We need somebody that can sit in that chair and continue on day one to move the city forward. I think that we have to deal with crime as a big issue. As you know, I did the ride-along, and I saw it firsthand what were some of the issues. St. Elizabeth's Hospital is a major issue. The continuation of looking at the fact that we have a poverty level in the city that is very significant, and we need to work on that because we need to help these people. Our city is not what's going on in the rural areas. It's what's going on here.
How do you handle the issue of the fire that happened over the weekend with these homeless people that are living in these abandoned homes?
That was terrible. It was similar to what happened at Obleston.
Right.
When people basically got thrown out. Now, I think Obleston is a great project. To redo that building is a great project. I'm kind of proud of it. Because
it's historic. It's a historic
one
building.
of my clients is Carmina Wood, the architect, who's the architect on the project.
Okay.
And they're doing a fantastic job. So I think we need to look at places like Obleston and other areas, and also look at the people that are managing these properties. All right, I can say that the MHA has done a phenomenal job in managing their properties. I think the more independent properties that are used for Section 8 and some of the others need to be managed. And as a city, we need to be on top of that as an administration. So, I think we have to be mindful of it.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is a home. If you don't have a home, what do you have?
Yeah.
I saw this thing in Portland, Oregon, which is horrible, that they're setting up tents for people to go live in and giving them 3 square meals a day. I mean, this This is insanity. So
you would think that the wealthiest nation, well, I guess we're not technically the wealthiest nation on earth, but
we're pretty close.
For the size of our country, we certainly are pretty wealthy.
Well,
One would think we could do better than that.
After the weekend, we need to be careful.
Yeah.
After the bank debacle in the Silicon Valley. And that, by the way, and I've talked about that as well, we're not going to have a tax increase in the city according to the budget, which is great. We got a nice fund balance, which is great. However, we still have to look at what's going to happen with inflation and with this bank debacle right now. What happens in the rest of 23, 24, 25, and beyond? And that's going to be what the next administration's going to have to deal with.
Bob, thank you.
Thank you.
Dave, I appreciate both of you guys for making your way in the midst of the fun weather out there.
Everybody who's out there, be careful, because it
was
slick. Bad an hour ago. I can't imagine what it's like now.
It's a very wet snow, and
it's heavy. You can see the trees. They're going to have a lot of branches down and things.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll do it again, and we'll do our best to talk issues. All right.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you so much. It's 8:04 WIBX Utica, Rome.
Adam and Grace finally made it to retirement. They decided this was their time. They drove in from Herkimer to Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive in the Hannaford Plaza next to Red Lobster. They wanted to see the number bed they'd heard so much about. Adam had a bad back. He liked his side firm. We elevated his head, his feet, put the massage on medium. He said he hadn't felt that comfort in years. Grace liked her side softer. She was a 24. She had her head elevated slightly less, her feet a little higher, and the massage on high. They were thrilled to find out it had a 25-year industry-leading warranty. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, so they didn't have to wait for their tax return. For their luxury reward, they chose a 65-inch flat-screen TV. They laid on the Purple and the Puffy, the big online brands while they were there, but the number bed was for them. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or go to mattressexpressny.com or visit any store.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, I'm Pete from Big Apple Music, and whether it's your home or business, you have a lot invested. In the past, a camera surveillance system was an expensive luxury. Big Apple has now made it affordable. Big Apple is the area's leader when it comes to camera surveillance systems, having installed hundreds locally in homes and businesses. Big Apple is New York State licensed for security and camera surveillance, with most of our products sourced from American companies. Featuring Starlight Night Vision, our cameras dollar for dollar have the best night vision available. A camera surveillance system can offer full property coverage. It prevents and reduces crime, monitors high-risk areas like parking lots and showrooms, and Big Apple has a fully set-up showroom to give you real-time, realistic demonstrations of just how great a camera system can be for you. Stop in and see for yourself at Big Apple Music in New Hartford.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, here's my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 7.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 7.99% APR to 23.99% APR and include a 0.5% auto pay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Hi, I'm Max Carbone, sales manager at Power Sports Utica. We are currently overstocked on 2023 Ski-Doo models, and we are offering up to $2,000 off sticker plus a $500 gift card for anything in the store. Kawasaki KLR models have $1,000 in rebates as well, and we have all colors and trims available in stock and ready for delivery. Kawasaki KLX models have $400 in rebate and up to $1,500 off KX models. Come visit us at Power Sports Utica, Central New York's Four Seasons Toy Store.
You have cancer. 3 words you wish you could unhear. But just because a cancer diagnosis may be a shock to your system doesn't mean cancer surgery has to be. Now, there's Edge Radiosurgery. It breaks down tumors in less than an hour per treatment. No knife, no hospital stay. Faster treatments, lower risk. Edge Radiosurgery, now at AMP of New York. Learn more at ampofny.com/edge. You may experience side effects which may be severe. Ask your doctor of Edge Radiosurgery and Associated Medical Professionals of New York is right for you.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Steady wet snow accumulating 4 to 8 inches with locally higher amounts northeast, southeast, south, and southwest of the Mohawk Valley. Breezy, colder, high 33. Tonight, windy evening, snow tapers to flurries, low 25. Tomorrow, lingering leftover lighter snow showers and flurries taper early. Windy and chilly with increasing afternoon sunshine, high 34. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
All right, currently it is snowing, slippery conditions out there, and 31 degrees.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Oh, thank you, Nagel. I mentioned when Cardillo was on about, what I was going to say is for the wealthiest nation in the world, this is the best that we can do. Turns out we are not the wealthiest nation in the world, which is what I said. We're no longer there. I think we're like number 8. Hold on, I'll tell you. And thank you, Nagel, for this. Luxembourg, Singapore is number 2. Ireland is number 3. Qatar, 4. Switzerland, 5. Norway, 6. United Arab Emirates, 7. And the United States is the 8th wealthiest country in the world. Now, global warming. Look at this. We're not feeling any of it right now. But there is a man out there who's done research on global warming. And this is not an argument to say that global warming doesn't exist. That is not the argument. In fact, he believes global warming does exist, and it's going on right now. However, the difference is he feels, we've heard a lot of doom and gloom, he feels global warming might actually be good for us. And his name is Clay Hansen, and he's on the line now. Clay, good morning.
Good morning.
Listen,
I'm not going to say global warming is good for us. It's not good for us, but I will say that I've found the root cause.
Okay, what is the root cause?
Well, if you notice, what everybody's been complaining about is whether it's natural or whether it's fossil fuels.
Right.
And that's always been the two arguments, whether it's the sun's natural irradiance or is it fossil fuels. But what everybody's missed is since 1958, from 1958 until 2017, we did nuclear testing by putting the bomb underground. Now, we thought it was a conventional weapon back in 1958. We didn't realize it was an energy weapon. But we kept that premise all the way up until 2017 with North Korea testing the last 6. And that's the root cause of climate change. My research actually shows a direct connection statistically between especially the last 6 bombs and changes in global CO2 concentrations.
So you feel it's nuclear?
Oh, yes. 86 megatons worth of energy were detonated underground. Now, a conventional bomb, which is how we've tested even the big bunker buster bombs.
Yeah.
We test them underground, and it's basically A plus B equals boom. Okay, that's all. It's a kinetic reaction. It's molecules splitting and combining and releasing a whole bunch of energy in a very short amount of time. Well, there's one step more in a nuclear reaction. It goes A becomes light. Light then becomes energy, which is transferred. Light transfers its energy through momentum by pushing it into it. So the first step in that nuclear reaction is light. The light then hits the air and the mass around it, transferring the heat and causing that massive explosion, mushroom cloud. That mushroom cloud we see on the top of the Earth is like 1/10 of the energy of that bomb.
Right.
The light is the main energy. And we were stupid enough to believe if I put it underground and I can't see it, it goes away. It doesn't go away. My theory is that it found its way to the ocean. Because by thermodynamics, thermodynamic driving force wants the coldest place to put that energy, the heat sink. And that heat sink may be 100 miles below where they tested, maybe to the right, maybe to the left. But that energy disappeared. And here's the kicker. If the energy didn't disappear, it would have gone through conduction. It would have taken. It would have had to go through the rock, right? If you take the smallest bomb we ever tested and you look at just that energy and what conduction would do, they said that area cooled in about a week, okay? If you do the calculation for conduction, it would have taken 130 years. So that means that energy didn't conduct through the rock. It went somewhere, exactly.
Yeah.
And what you see, especially in the 1971 nuclear test where we put a 5-megaton bomb down in Alaska underground about 20 miles, that caused a 7 on the Richter scale earthquake. But again, that chamber, which I believe was greater than a couple football fields, just cooled down in a week.
Right, because
so all
the
that
energy
went somewhere.
So,
And you can actually see the global average CO2 go up that within a year of that initial blast by itself.
So, can you give people your background and what has led you to the research and your conclusions?
Yes. I was in the Air Force for 6 years. Enlisted. I worked on the ground electronics and targeting for the Minuteman II and III intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Okay.
So I have somewhat an eidetic memory, so anything you teach me technical, I remember forever, even the classified stuff.
And so when I was told that we were bringing you on, I was told he believes global warming is actually good for mankind. You do not believe that.
Oh no, we are marching on our way to death.
Okay.
But I do have good news though.
And what is that?
Now that we know the root cause, we know the energy is already in the oceans, okay? Then that's how we need to attack it. Fossil fuels is not going to help us at all. It's a red herring. But if we attack it on the ocean itself, that the energy is in the ocean, then we can do reflection in the ocean, we can do carbon sequestration in the ocean, but now we know where to attack it because we know the root cause.
Yeah.
By not knowing the root cause, all they were doing, they were trying to draw a line between solar radiation and fossil fuels, and somewhere in there it didn't fit. Oh, by the way, to interject something, I did prove Al Gore was right until 1947. And I actually found a linear first-order differential equation that fits his data with a 91% correlation.
No. You are what based on your research, what is going to happen if we continue on the current path? We keep hearing from people, scientists, the governments will tell us we only have 20 more years, we have 30 more years, we have whatever. How do you see it? How bad is the outlook if we stay on the current path?
Well, my back-of-the-envelope estimates say that we are going to hit 3 degrees Celsius above 1960 conditions. I can't tell you when, because, like I said, it's a back-of-the-envelope. But if we are currently climbing, and this is if you linearize the current rate of climb and temperature, it's about 0.02 degrees Celsius per year, and that's ticking up no matter what we do. By the way, that also indicates that the energy is continuously coming from the ocean to the air. If we continue on that climb, then everything they're doing about we don't want to reach 1.5 degrees, well, there's nothing you're doing to stop it.
Right.
We have to take drastic steps to stop this, or you're going to see drastic famine. You're going to see increase. And the other thing too is there's an increase when you're climbing up like this. You also increase instability. That's why you see the greater highs and the lower lows. It makes it look like it's not actually warming, but you've got to follow the average, and that's what's telling you which 0.02 degrees.
Right.
C.
So we'll oftentimes we'll talk about how it's 25 below zero here in February. So much, although we didn't have it in February, it was warm this year in February. But so much for global warming. You say it's the averages you have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the sun's solar cycle is 11 years. Okay, so that's the Earth does everything slow and careful. So if the solar swing is 11 years, then anything that's happening, it's going to take 11 years for you to see it initially. You understand? Because that's how the Earth works. It works very slowly. So, and here's another indication of why you're seeing, another reason of why you're seeing the swings so high and so low. A nuclear blast, if it turned into energy and went into the water, it would be a very quick bunch of energy in a very short amount of time, in a very short amount of area. All right, that would cause the deep cold water to release its CO2 and have that force to the top.
Yeah.
That causes a CO2 void in the base of the ocean. That CO2 void will suck in the CO2 from the rock. We've seen that, have we not? Now, what you'll see around the world is these weird plumes of warm water just popping up everywhere. But what's happening underneath is that energy is now bouncing across the base of the ocean. It bounces left, bounces right. I'm being metaphorical, actually. But that means that the overall balance on the top of the water, which controls your weather, is now swinging around. That's why you hit those extremes, because the quote-unquote control of the Earth's climate, the natural control, the way she controls energy release, has been not only perturbed, but perturbed in a way it's out of control. It's bouncing back and forth.
We're talking to Clay Hansen. He is from Maine. He's done research on global warming. And you know this? Have you reported this? And do you feel the government and scientists know that this is the real case, and that we're blaming it on fossil fuels just because it's just something that distracts people?
That's an interesting thought. I would like to consider myself smart and somewhat on a genius level, but these data are so obvious. I mean, you tell somebody that doesn't know that we put these bombs on the ground and that's in this field, and I tell them this, and they go, "We did what? Are you kidding?"
Right.
I guaranteed Carl Sagan, when he went up to Congress back in the 70s and did his first report on global warming, he didn't know we were blowing up bombs on the ground at that time.
Right.
This draws the link to them all, and it makes me wonder. They gotta know.
Right. They've got to know, right?
Because they taught me that the most important aspect of that bomb was the light, and everything I did on that site had to protect against that electromagnetic pulse.
And you say when you say they, it's the military taught you.
Oh yeah, military. They taught me all that stuff. They taught me everything about a bomb.
Very interesting. And you don't know the timeline, though. You would not dare say 20 years, 30 years, 40 years unless we do something. You're not willing to go there.
No, I'm not willing to go there. Well, if you follow the current march, it might come up to probably around 2160. But if as the energy decreases, it's going to curve. So it's going to be called a first order decay, and which means I can't tell you about when it's going to do, because I don't know when that turn's going to be.
Right. Clay Hansen, thank you for the time. I appreciate it, and you do sound brilliant, way over my head.
The article's on the Japan Journal of Research, and it's called what is it called? Hold on, I lost my page.
Okay.
It's called Underground Nuclear Testing, the Leading Cause of Global Warming.
Are we still testing underground?
The last test was conducted in 2017 by North Korea. And would you like to hear something my wife found out about this?
Yeah.
In 2017, shortly after that bomb, we noticed that the humpback whales left the Bay of Alaska, the Gulf of Alaska, because it got warm. Now, in 2022, was it? 2022, they returned. That warming of the entire Gulf of Alaska occurred because of those two nukes, so late 2016 and early 2017, conducted by North Korea. And these were very small in comparison. And it took 5 years after that for the energy to dissipate to the rest of the ocean and the whales to come back. That resulted in a 90% reduction in the whale population.
Wow.
That's a direct connection from nuclear testing to a major environmental impact.
And how in the world does science and our governments not know? It almost seems
I know.
impossible, right?
It just seems totally obvious, does it not?
Yeah. Clay Hansen, thank you for your time and the work that you've done. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Very interesting, right? Did you follow him, Davey? Probably not. No. That whale issue was pretty scary, though, when you think about it. The man spent time in the military, very brilliant guy. You would think that our government probably knows everything he's talking about, as he says, considering the fact that that's what they taught him when he was in the military. We have some breaking news right now out of Syracuse. A plane filled with passengers went off the runway this morning at the Syracuse Hancock International Airport. A Delta Airbus A220-100 was on the taxiway when it went off, according to a news release from the airport. According to FlightAware.com or FlightAware.com, an airline tracker, the plane was headed to LaGuardia. Passengers are being taken off the plane, brought back to the terminal. Officials did not say if any passengers were hurt or what caused the plane to go off the tarmac. Obviously, we're in the midst of a weather event. The plane was reported to be nose down in the grass off the tarmac, according to dispatches from the Onondaga County 911 Center. The airport is still open, and despite the weather that we're experiencing, is still operating as usual. That's breaking news out of Syracuse. At this point, there have been no injuries reported. It's 8:25.
Talk about second-guess dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Every day at NBT Bank, we focus our business around all the ways we can help yours. We're large enough to offer leading business and digital solutions, but local enough to ensure personalized one-on-one service. So turn to NBT Bank for a full range of business solutions, like capital and treasury management services, even fraud protection, and see how NBT Bank is just the right size to help you do big things. Visit nbtbank.com to learn more and start a conversation. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Paid for by Altimetry Research.
Despite Joe Biden's age, raging inflation, and his dismal 45% approval level, one Pentagon consultant believes Biden could become one of the most powerful presidents in history. How is this all possible? Well, it's almost entirely because of a surprising July 25th twist that hardly anyone's talking about right now. A powerful new economic force is quietly building behind Joe Biden, and Biden can harness this force's inevitable wave, carrying him to a landslide re-election win. The good news is, this powerful new force can help you make a lot of money, even in a bear market. The bad news is, this July 25th twist is also likely to make Biden and the progressives more powerful than ever, meaning much bigger government, and it's going to be harder than ever to hold on to any money you make. After being asked to speak at the Pentagon recently in Washington, D.C., this insider put together an analysis of this situation, which details everything you need to know. You can access his full brand new analysis free of charge by visiting BidenElection100.com. BidenElection100.com.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools ready to learn, destined to lead.
I can't take this kitchen any longer. Carl, we need to start looking for a new house.
Honey, you know the housing market is tight. It's going to be next to impossible to find something that we like.
I know, but this kitchen has to go.
Hey, what about a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank? We can turn the equity from our home into cash to renovate, just the way you want.
Renovate?
Adirondack Bank has competitive rates, and they've been a trusted community bank for decades.
A new kitchen. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the deck, even add a pool, and take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about.
Whoa, slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank about that home equity loan. Then we can decide where to start.
I've always wanted to add on a craft room, and our bathroom needs a facelift.
Don't move. Improve. Stop into your local Adirondack Bank branch for more information on a home equity loan or visit AdirondackBank.com. Bank local with Adirondack Bank, your hometown community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Menthol is not just a flavor. It's a manipulative way for big tobacco to target, attract, and addict Black Americans. Tobacco companies aggressively market menthol products using elements of Black culture, putting more products on shelves in Black communities and making them cheaper. And it's not just an injustice, it's killing us. Smoking-related illnesses are the #1 cause of death in the African American community. Help us fight this injustice at notjustmenthol.org.
Hey, and Sarah's Flooring Outlet is the area's leading flooring store for Pergo Extreme by Mohawk. And if it's flooring, it's in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. Located in their brand new flooring outlet on Route 49, in the Route 49 Plaza, right down the road from us on River Road in Marcy. Online 24/7, it's in sarahsflooringoutlet.com. And when it comes to Pergo Extreme by Mohawk, this is an amazing product with a deeper protection, a deeper warranty, industry-leading and worry-free for life, 100% dent-proof, waterproof, kid-proof, and pet-proof. It is a quality product. And they have, in Sarah's, they have the price guarantee. It's a Pergo Extreme price guarantee within a 60-mile radius of the store. So anybody that has a price on Pergo Extreme, they will either meet it or beat it within a 60-mile radius of the store. Call them today, and you can take advantage of $50 off your next purchase of $500 or more, or 6 months interest-free financing. If it is flooring, you won't find a better supply of flooring anywhere than in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. In sarahsflooringoutlet.com, Route 49 Plaza, River Road in Marcy.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, some light snow still falling out there, and slick, and I don't know how much you end up getting, but we're saying that between the hours of earlier this morning and when this is all said and done, another 4 to 8 inches is possible. It is a wet, heavy snow, so keep an eye on the tree limbs and the branches and the power lines as well. It can be a real problem going forward today. Okay, this is going to be something pretty intense. Are you ready for intense here this morning? And shocking when I first heard this story. Fran and Joe Garino, husband and wife, They have been, and they'll tell you their story coming up here in a second. They've been Jehovah's Witnesses for many years, and we'll get a little of their history coming up. But they have discovered some alarming issues, issues of child sexual abuse, violence, threats, and a thing called shunning. It's what happens if you leave the church. So let's say you have a child or family and grandchildren, and you want to leave the church. If they don't leave the church with you, the entire congregation will shun you, and that would include your own children would not be allowed to speak with you. You lose your family. It leads to, they say, depression, suicide, and possible violence, something that we saw happen in Germany. It's all available online. If you go to YouTube, you'll be shocked at what you find. And Fran and Joe are on the line here this morning trying to tell their story. And Fran, good morning. Thank you guys for being brave enough to step forward here.
Good morning, Bill. Thank you for having us.
Okay, so first of all, tell us your background as Jehovah's Witnesses.
Briefly for us, we started what's called studying when we were roughly 33. Mm-hmm. It was in 1985.
Okay.
We had 3 children and 1 on the way. Fran was pregnant for Paul, our youngest one. Mm-hmm. We began studying because we were looking for an organization where we could not only learn more about the Bible for the whole family, as well as an opportunity to volunteer for charity work. Mm-hmm. We felt that would be a good thing for the family, and we always found that it was rewarding and needed when we were younger ourselves, Fran and I. We wanted the family involved in that.
And Fran, you're a teacher. Joe, your background is in counseling.
Yeah, and left the job counseling and student personnel in college.
Okay.
Fran taught K through.
I went to school for K through 6. I taught 5th grade up in Copenhagen, New York, and then we got married, and I taught at a BOCES in Auburn. Did some substitute teaching, and then we raised a family, and I stopped teaching. But later on, when the children were older, we homeschooled them.
Okay. So if you could tell us what you've discovered and what you want people to know. You speak very critically against the church.
I want to speak as accurately as I can about what we've observed and what we see people going through, our friends going through. And this is not just here locally. It's very much here locally. It's also very much earthwide. The congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses from the Watchtower Society is more than 8 million members earthwide in congregations like we see around here. There's one right here in North Utica on Trenton Road. That's a kingdom hall. It's the hall where people learn literally about what the witnesses call God's kingdom as put forth in the Bible. So it's a place where they would go and basically to learn. It's a very much a sit-down school situation. It's not your typical church that you would think of as church. It's hall where people learn, young and old together. And typically it's based on the Bible, very much so based on the Bible, which is the way it began. We saw things developing and changing through the years. There was an invisible governing body, so to speak, the leaders, the national leaders. They weren't visible. They were very much so hidden, and no attention was brought to them. Everything was basically on a local level through elders. And then they'd have their regional people called circuit overseers, were like regional managers, so to speak, which kept things organized.
Yeah.
There were meetings, 3 meetings a week. At that point, there were 3 meetings a week. Everybody would be dressed up, going to the hall, young and old alike. And in a a sit-down situation. They would be learning from talks given. Members typically would give talks as well. They would be assigned information, theme, and to give talks, either 3-minute, 5-minute, maybe in 10-minute, all different types of talks, depending on the level that you were at in your progress. As time went on, we saw that things were becoming more and more authoritarian, more and more focused on the organization, on frankly the corporate structure was bearing down on people, and the requirements, heavy requirements for putting forth time in what's called field service, going door to door, bringing their message from the watchtower, and they would say from the Bible as well, because the Bible is like the handbook, supposedly, for their religion.
Right.
But unfortunately, there's so much criticism about the Bible that they use, because even from Bible scholars, not earthwide, they have a very dim view of the most recent Bible that the Witnesses put out. It's the Watchtower Society started out as a corporation, a book printing and publishing corporation, which became a religion, which were put forth as Jehovah's Witnesses, because the Bible talked about that there would be a witness given to people. And so they took on the name of Jehovah's Witnesses. So basically individuals would become God's witnesses.
That was in the 1930s.
Yeah, that goes way back.
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses. Just getting the old background.
1931, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Tremendous amount of information and research out there for anyone to do. The organization is very much a corporately structured organization. Very rich, very powerful, and it exercises very high control over the people. There are requirements for involvement. If for some reason people don't fit certain requirements, they become what's called bad association. In other words, they can't associate with that person. Or if they do, it's going to be very limited, and they're going to be very careful around them because they don't bring the corporate message, so to speak.
Yeah.
They might say something that's not in line with the corporate speak.
We're speaking with Fran and Joe. They're local. And we'll get to this, they recently left the Jehovah's Witness church, and as a result, can you talk about what happened when you left? Which this occurred last fall. Am I correct?
Actually, around January of 2022.
Okay.
We became aware of child sexual abuse. There's many documentaries you can go online, and one of the big ones is called the Australian Royal Commission, and it was a study done in Australia with 1,800 victims, 1,000 pedophiles, and
who were on record. This was over the span of 20 years, and so we became aware of this. We had no idea that this had been going on. Yeah. One of the reasons why we had no idea, number one, they're very secretive about things that go on. They have a very public persona, and they have a very private persona, which no one knows about.
So these cases of molestation happened within the church, and it was covered up by the church?
Yes. Absolutely.
So the first thing we did was we approached our elders. Yeah. So it was during COVID. So we did it on Zoom with 2 elders we've known for a long, long, long time. And we said, we're concerned about this. And they said, well, it never happened here. You can't believe everything that you see on the Internet. We said, well, this was a well-documented.
Right.
This isn't something put out by, they call them apostates. Apostates are ones that leave and then speak against the organization. We said this wasn't put out by apostates. This is a well-documented documentary.
Yeah. See, the message given from the organization is that you cannot trust anything that's said about us if it doesn't come from the organization. Anything that you hear are lies, or that you can't trust it. So therefore, it's better not to look into anything.
Better not to question things.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you left the church, what happened to you?
Well, we gradually, because we wanted to, we knew what would happen if we came right out and left. We would automatically be shunned.
We have four young grown children who are in it, who were raised in it. We were not raised in it. We had a culture before we came into it. Our family, our young ones, they were brought up in this watchtower culture. That's their life.
And that was your choice, right? You brought them up in this church, innocently.
Yes, it was. It was.
There's something that's called the motivation for becoming part of that, and for why a person stays involved in it. First off, they offer promises that the Bible supposedly gives of a beautiful future, of security, of a sureness of what's going to happen to me when I die. How about my dead loved ones? What about the future for the earth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And so there's this whole story is presented, and it's appealing. It's a very appealing story.
So you left. You say you did it gradually, but you left.
Yeah.
Have you lost?
Called fading.
Are you? It's called what?
Fading.
Fading. So you faded or fading from the church. Did you?
Yeah. There's something else called PMO. It's an acronym for physically and mentally out. So you could be, going to the meetings, but mentally you don't believe it. You don't feel right there, but you're only doing it because you know that if you don't, your family will shun you. And so there's many in there now that are PMO that presently.
Yeah.
But my conscience as a mother, knowing that this had been going on, and we raised our children. I approached our children and I asked them, because I didn't know. I said, were you ever physically abused? And they said no. But then there's something called repressed memory, that a child, because they don't know what's going on when they're physically abused at 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, they have no idea. They can put it out of their mind. They can put it out of their memory. And they've done studies on this. But apparently they said no, they weren't. And right away our children, started to be very careful being around us. And eventually they just cut us off.
What precipitated that was that one of the elders who basically first introduced us to the organization, who knows the family, he spoke behind our backs to them and warned them about us.
Mm-hmm.
So your children don't speak to you anymore?
Correct.
No.
Correct.
We have 2 locally and 2 that live a distance.
Bill, I want to emphasize, this is not unique to right here.
Right.
This is literally happening identically earthwide.
I will say that if you go online, you see this story repeated over and over and over again, where
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And it might be the children have left, and the parents will the parents will no longer speak with the children.
Right, exactly.
Bill, there's a video. I don't know if you saw the video. There's a video from the society that graphically instructs the parents to purposely shun anything, any information, communication that comes from the child, be it a text, phone call, anything.
And what happens? What happens if what would happen to your children if they did? These are adult children. If they decided, you know what, these are my parents. I'm going to communicate with my parents. We're going to dinner. We're going to. What would happen to them?
They would
be shunned.
They would
be shunned. Okay.
Yeah. So they told us only contact them in an emergency. We said, well, what constitutes an emergency?
Well, they haven't even contacted us with that.
No. I must say that, so we formally submitted, you have to formally give, what do you call it? Disassociation. We disassociated ourselves on January 12th. So they make an announcement at the Kingdom Hall, and they say Joe and Fran Garino are no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and that officially they start shunning. But but see, they had been shunning us all along because they knew, we would not be encouraging, and
they've gotten the members so mind controlled, be able to do this at a moment's notice. See, for them, it's a matter of faith. It's a matter of loyalty.
Right.
And basically, it's driven by fear.
So immediately when it was announced that you two had left the church, that was instant. No one would speak to you anymore.
Right.
For the whole congregation.
Right.
Yeah.
But
And
they
you-
had been doing that previous to that.
And one of the things that we see around the country, around the world, and I imagine even locally, is the shunning. You're now cut off from everyone that you knew. You're cut off from your family, your children, which leads to depression, suicide, and possibly worse than that.
Well, if you want to think about it, if this is done to a child, their whole support system basically is ripped out from underneath them.
Right.
I just can't characterize how cold-hearted it is. Now, maybe the official direction is that normal family relations for them can continue, but frankly, it doesn't, because they've gotten the people so mind controlled that it's such a faith-based issue that each individual wants to be very faithful.
Yeah,
they don't want to be viewed as being one of the faithless ones, one of the disloyal ones.
Fran and Joe Garino are local. They left the Jehovah's Witness Church, and since then have lost all contact with their family. Do you have a plan to attempt to reach your kids? And I'm assuming it means your kids and your grandchildren.
We don't have
No
any grandchildren.
And that's the other side.
No, they devoted themselves to the ministry, and they put that first, which we thought, that was commendable. But now looking back on it, we don't have any grandchildren. So if we did have grandchildren, we would not be able to see our grandchildren. And we know of people in that situation.
The society never encourages having children.
Can you explain when you say what? Explain that. That I don't understand.
Well, they want full devotion of the individual to working for that corporation. Look, all the members are unpaid workers for that organization.
Right.
That Kingdom Hall that you'll see there. Any Kingdom Hall you see around the world, it was built by the members. No one is paid for it. It all comes out of their pockets. They put their effort into it.
And when you say though that you don't have any grandchildren, did your kids produce children? But they were, and then you said they were given to the church. Explain that.
No. They had no children.
No, they had no children because they devoted their time,
I see.
and energy.
So they're discouraged. They're discouraged from having children. Okay.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's not that Jehovah's Witnesses don't have children. You can have children. You can have grandchildren. It's just in our situation, our children.
But see, that was
their own personal
the more
decision.
zealous ones, the more ones who want to be more faithful and more role model and example, they're not going to have children. They're going to devote themselves.
What do you as I'm running out of time here, what do you want people to know? And
we're raising awareness to the fact that the people right around you in every community, as these witnesses, these people, these individuals, number one, they do not know what we just told you. They're discouraged from even finding out. If they find out and if they even talk about it, they're looked upon as being unfaithful.
Okay.
They've got a lock on their minds and on their eyes and on their voices. And it hurts because what it's doing, it's stealing relationships from them. And unfortunately, it's going to lead to more violence like we're seeing happen.
Well, we saw it in Germany, right? Yeah.
Yes, in Germany. What we're doing, Bill, is on a local level, and we've done it on a national level, is raising awareness. And we are here, Joe and I are here as a support for anyone that is being shunned, any kind of religious trauma, because the Amish are being shunned. There's other groups, the Mormons, anybody that's being shunned and that needs support. We are here for them. They, we keep them, their names and everything are kept.
Yeah.
We're not going to.
So basically,
it's confidential.
We'll be like a center for an exploration into what religion has done for our lives and what we can do to overcome any of the trauma and the problems.
And if I could say, our children are beautiful, loving children. They're not spiteful. They're not hateful. They never were. They're very loving. The friends, we called them friends at the Kingdom Hall. They're very kind.
But it's very conditional.
Yeah.
Because as soon as any one of them steps outside a very tight arrangement, they're no longer a friend.
Yeah.
They're cut off.
Do you? And I'll ask you this final question: do you fear coming forward?
No.
No,
I don't. No. I don't. What I fear are the ones that are trapped inside, who don't know and who don't know what to do to come out.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be a clear signal, a clear model of what to do and how to do that, and that there are people and there are friends that can support them and that love them.
Young children do not have a voice. So as a mother, I want to be a voice for them, because no child should ever go through that trauma, because it is with them the rest of their life.
Okay, Fran and Joe, how do people reach out to you if they were concerned? How would they reach out to you?
I think you've got our phone number, Bill. If they contact you, they can have, or we can give our phone number here and now.
I'd say that they can search for you online, and also if you wanted, we have your phone number. They can reach out to us, and we'll pass it along.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank
you.
Right.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Fran and Joe Garino, thank you for coming forward. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you, Bill.
All right. Good luck. Wow.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Wow, what a story. We'll wrap it up here on a snowy Tuesday morning. It's 8:54 at WIBX.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Josh, quote, "After walking around my whole life being a mouth breather, I was excited to try Navage. I read the directions carefully, pressed the button, and oh my gosh, what a sensation. So much mucus, so much crud, but oh sweet, merciful air I can finally breathe you through my nose. Never have I ever taken such an amazing breath in my life. This is a life changer," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. If you're in need of a new family doctor, call the Falcon Clinic today. It's the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they're accepting new patients right now. I'm having some sleep issues, reached out to the Falcon Clinic, and I'm currently being treated. And it's done in an osteopathic approach. There are so many different things you can do for sleep. This is one that allows the body to assist in recovery. And it may mean ultimately medicine, but it's something you possibly could avoid. If you're having issues with sleep, fatigue, pain, ADHD, or other health issues that you've been unable to cure, Dr. Shemolinsky, Dr. Zielinski are now taking new patients. Is there someone in your family considering medical marijuana, which might be an option for pain without the addictive side effects of opioids? Call today and visit them online, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Have you been tested for hepatitis C? It's prevalent in baby boomers, and it is 100% curable. Dr. Shemolinsky is Hep C certified. Call today, 315-507-4751, or visit them online, thefalconclinic.com. The Falcon Clinic, located in Washington Mills.
Hi, I'm Joe Carbone. Welcome to Harley-Davidson of Utica. Get a jump on your riding season with over 120 Harley-Davidson motorcycles to choose from.
Harley-Davidson Motor Company 120th anniversary celebration is March 25th. Stop in for food, beverages, music, and lots of Harley-Davidson giveaways. Register to win a 2023 Breakout and a free trip to Milwaukee for the anniversary blowout. So come to Harley-Davidson of Utica, March 25th for our great event.
Hey, River Hills Properties is the fastest growing real estate company in Central New York. And you know who knows that? Our very own Jimmy Fallow. When Jimmy was here at with Davey, of course, hanging out at Fat Cats Comedy Club and in the studio, he formed a relationship with Bill and Robin Monjo and loves the philosophy, their philosophy of buying and selling homes. Check it out. This is Jimmy on River Hills Properties.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon, and the last time I was up at WIBX with the Keeler Show, when I wasn't shutting down hecklers in the comedy club, I was learning all about Bill and Robin Monjo and their amazing philosophy of buying and selling homes at River Hills Properties. Folks, when you list your home with River Hills, you're getting an extra level of service it is not available with other agencies. And I, for one, can't imagine having people I don't know wandering through my home when I'm not there. It's bad enough I've got Lincoln throwing his keg parties when I'm on the road. But also, that's the way houses are sold up in Utica. But not with River Hills. Your River Hills listing agent is there every time your house is shown. They turn the lights on, they answer questions, and they make sure no one's going through your medicine cabinet. It happens. Trust me, I've done it to a few people. Not proud. But seriously, list your home with River Hills Properties and reduce your stress level. It's like having a personal assistant to oversee the sale of your home. So why wouldn't you list with River Hills? What the heck's wrong with you? If you're even thinking about selling your home, call my friends at River Hills Properties, serving Utica, Rome, the Valley, and the North Country. Call 315-896-1009. And remember, nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties. Tell them Jimmy Fallon told you to call.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Davey, nice job today, man. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Davey stepping up and being Davey and Jeff this morning. Manaski out, not feeling well at all. So
feel better, Jeff.
I will say that this weather is just not necessarily fun, but even though Richard said we weren't going to get anything, I will say that we certainly didn't get the 2 feet they were talking about. Once again, we fall short when it comes to one of these storms. But we're expecting to have snow through the day today. Meteorologist Craig Flint saying that we can expect another 4 to 8 inches through the day today with locally higher amounts to the northeast, southeast, and south of the Mohawk Valley, especially in the higher elevations. So be safe out there. We're back here tomorrow morning on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Another report that inflation is cooling off. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Consumer prices did go up again last month, but not as much as the month before. Cheryl Cassoni with Fox Business.
Month over month, the expectation was 0.4%. We came in at 0.4% month to month. The year-over-year expectation was up 6%. We came in up 6%. The core month over month, that came in slightly higher than expected, 0.5%. The expectation was 0.4%. And then looking at the core year over year, the expectation was 5.5%, and the number coming in at 0.5%, which is a tiny bit better than what we had last month at 5.6%.
Core prices don't include food and energy costs, which fluctuate more. President Biden in Los Angeles today speaks about gun violence and an executive order meant to expand background checks for gun purchases. Meantime, he said at a Democratic National Committee fundraiser in Rancho Santa Fe, California last night, then saying he shouldn't have said it, that former President Jimmy Carter asked him to deliver the eulogy at his funeral when the time comes. He's in hospice care. A Facebook post may be what motivated hundreds of migrants to storm a bridge